Hello, my name is John McCall, radio programmer, announcer here in former Mr. Valley for the years 2019-2020. Dr. White was our very first president, and what he did was something extraordinary. And this documentary will chronicle his journey in creating our beloved university. It's a documentary about perseverance, even when obstacles are thrown your way. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, up from a cotton patch.
The first, the life story of James Herbert White and the development of Mississippi Valley State University. Mississippi Valley State University, home of the Delta Devils.
I guess you might say that the three of us literally grew up together. These are our parents, and these are her parents. Now, our parents produced an all-state wide receiver who is also the winningest basketball coach in Warner Robins, Georgia high school history. She produced only the greatest receiver to ever play the game. Our parents produced a Stanford University Sloan Fellow and a former department head for a major corporation. She produced a host of distinguished department heads over the years. Now, we had a little band. She had a little band too. Our singers sang at radio station WDIA in Memphis and at the Royal Room here at the MVSU campus. Her singers? They sang at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, the New York City World's Fair, and also toured South America in 1965. By the time Chip and I were both teenagers, our little band played several venues in Itabena and Greenwood. By the time our big sister here was 15, her band had played at the Tournament of Roses Parade, played there again in 1968, and represented the state of Mississippi in the President's inaugural parade in Washington, D.C. Our parents worked here. Her parents, they worked here too. Oh, and this gentleman? Well, he was, is, and will always be known as the first. James Herbert White was a leader who just seemed to know how to get things done. He was exceptionally persuasive, always impeccably dressed, and most certainly on a mission. He had an orator's gift, endless charisma, and by most accounts, was a public relations genius. His trademark smile was as warm as the hot Delta sun in the middle of August, and he shared it with friend and foe alike. Now, one of his favorite admonishments was, just keep on living. His favorite meal, believe it or not, was cornbread, buttermilk, and white beans. His favorite television shows were Bonanza, Flip Wilson, and Gunsmoke. Now, he was an accomplished musician who played the trumpet, the piano, the violin, and this, his ukulele. While in college, he also organized and performed with this group, Nashville Harmony 4. He often liked to ask the rhetorical question, do you eat to live or live to eat? Now, he enjoyed a good sporting event too, but it was his wife and college sweetheart, Mama White, who absolutely loved sports. All sports. In fact, here she is at her 87th birthday party, talking about her team's chances in the NBA playoffs. Just listen.
Well, honey, the Lakers can win, you know that. We just have to go to the end. They just have to go. They have to be young ones on. That's true.
Now, in football, these were her two favorite wide receivers. Our grandfather also raised quail and pheasant in his backyard and often delivered these tasty birds as Christmas gifts to friends and supporters of the university. His humble beginnings shaped his solid yet gentle character. Success was possible, he believed, if you kept the faith and you worked hard enough at it. His life experiences taught him the value of lasting friendships, and he worked to develop 1,000,000 of them. Why, he even named the president's home Friendship Manor. These attributes, along with his experiences, were the foundation of his life. A life that helped turn a mountain of obstacles into a valley of achievement. This is the story of James Herbert White. James Herbert White's journey to college president began just 25 miles northeast of Nashville, Tennessee, in the city of Gallatin. While today, Gallatin, Tennessee is a growing, modern, and prosperous city of about 27,000, it was anything but that for James Edward and Edna White in 1903, the year our grandfather was born. For the White family, tragedy and tough times were frequent companions. For example, Herbert's father abandoned the family at an early age. In addition, while Herbert was still a small boy, the family home burned to the ground just before one Christmas. A local merchant took pity on the family and let Edna, her son and daughter Lillian, shown here with young Herbert, stay in a vacant store that he owned until they could get back on their feet. With only some bedding that they managed to salvage from the fire, Edna and her children slept on the floor in that store, and all they had that year for Christmas dinner were a few apples that were given to them.
Edna, what in the world you educating that boy for? To push a damn plow?
No, I'm educating him to push a damn fountain pen.
Despite their humble circumstances, however, Edna was determined to see that her son get an education and push a fountain pen, she said, rather than to have to push a plow. So she cleaned homes and washed clothes for 7 different families. She also did wash for traveling highway workers, delivering her wash by horse and buggy. Now by age 8, young Herbert himself was working 3 different jobs at the same time to help out. First, he shined shoes at Warren's barbershop. Second, he also swept floors here at Citizens Dry Cleaners in exchange for cleaned and pressed clothes. The owner, Mr. E.V. Anthony, proved to be a lifelong friend and a key person along Herbert's educational journey. When he applied for his 3rd concurrent job, the owner, Mr. E.M. Stark, shown here receiving an award, responded, "Why, Herbert, you're too little to work here." To which Herbert responded, "Just give me a chance, Mr. Stark." Mr. Stark, owner of Stark Photography Studio, shown here just above the local J.C. Penney, agreed to give him that chance. And so, for 75 cents a week, young Herbert began working for Mr. Stark, where he learned an awful lot about photography. Now, Herbert's grandparents were Doc and Lucinda Bracken. Doc Bracken was born into slavery in 1848. Bracken took the surname of his owner, John Bracken, who would eventually become Sumner County Sheriff. After the Civil War, a freed Doc Bracken managed to acquire a small farm outside of Gallatin. After Edna's house burned, Bracken exchanged his farm with Sheriff John Bracken for a small house that was once here, near the corner of East Smith Street and South Boyers Avenue so that James Herbert could attend school in Gallatin. Doc Bracken was a strong influence on his grandson's life, and the two of them enjoyed a wonderful relationship. In 1913, Doc Bracken worked as a porter for the next 21 years here in the Tennessee State Senate. Governors, senators, and representatives were quite fond of Doc, and even at times affectionately referred to him as the senator from Sumner County. Although he would not live to witness his grandson become college president, Doc Bracken helped pave the way for his daughter Edna and her son to both realize their dream. Edna later married Rufus Horton, and he was a big help to the family. However, he also felt strongly that Herbert should work rather than attend school. As a result, he too would later abandon the family. Incredibly, despite these mounting hardships, Edna Horton continued to hold firmly to her dream. And you know, I suspect she wasn't much different from other parents who have sent their kids to the valley over the years. After graduating from South Gallatin Public School, young Herbert traveled to Indianapolis, Indiana to work at an auto parts business for $14.75 a week. When he had saved enough money, he returned to Gallatin and enrolled at Tennessee A&I, or Tennessee State University, as it is known today. Upon graduating from Tennessee State in 1924, Herbert took a job as assistant principal here at Union High School in Gallatin. Now, 2 years later, he married Augusta Charter and became principal at Montgomery High School in Lexington, Tennessee, where the two of them were also teachers. But it was shortly thereafter, in 1928, here in Hardeman County, Tennessee, in the city of Whiteville, where Principal White would meet his first major professional challenge, and it was a big one. Whiteville, population of about 3,100, is located 175 miles southwest of Nashville. In the late 1920s and 30s, times were especially tough in Hardeman County. For instance, there was no electricity at the local training school and no sanitary toilets. Most of the community was indifferent to educating poor black students, and race relations were very poor. Local superintendent of county schools, Catherine Ingram, sent White a telegram offering him the job as principal of the Hardeman County Training School. The school, which was established by its first principal, Jesse C. Allen, was run down, in need of serious repair, and also saddled with a $5,600 debt. Principal White moved his young family, which by this time included our mother, and went right to work. After requesting a conference with the Commissioner of Utilities, White got the electric company, in cooperation with local farmers who supplied the poles, to provide electricity to the school for the very first time. He also got the local community involved to help retire the debt. In addition, he involved the outside community through personal relationships he developed with concerned citizens. For instance, John Cheek, a wealthy Nashville businessman, donated $3,000, and W.B. Chase, a lumberman in Michigan, donated windows and doors for buildings. Principal White continued to raise money for capital improvements over the years, adding new buildings, including several dormitories to house students, some of whom actually lived on campus, representing 3 states and 10 Tennessee counties. All this while continuing his education during the summer months at Fisk University in Nashville, and later completing his master's degree at Columbia University in New York City. In February 1940, a number of buildings at the Hardeman County Training School were destroyed by a fire of unknown origin. In response, Principal White was granted a 1-month leave to travel and to raise money from several prominent philanthropists. Some of them actually visited the school, including John D. Rockefeller, as well as Winthrop Aldrich, president of Chase National Bank. The campaign was successful, and the school was eventually renamed Allen White High School in honor of its 2 most influential principals. According to the book Hardeman County, Tennessee, A Family History, Volume 2, Fisk University President Thomas E. Jones was so impressed by White's leadership and the results at Allen White School that he directed his Department of Education to establish an internship with the school. With desegregation, the school unfortunately closed in 1971, but not before Principal White, years before, had established himself as a man who could get things done. And this well-earned reputation was about to pay off again in a big way.
To push a fountain pen.
In 1948, largely based on his success in Whiteville, Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, offered White the job as its president. Founded in 1882 by Bishop Isaac Lane, Lane College is a small Methodist-sponsored college located about 85 miles northeast of Memphis. Professor White was in his element as president. Now, he helped to retire significant debt facing the college. And most importantly, under his leadership, Lane College achieved its first A rating by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. He also began to experiment with a little idea he would more fully develop a few years later: the million friends concept. The idea of recruiting 1 million persons to donate at least $1 to the college. But it was the debt retirement, along with the school's A rating, that were the crowning achievements in what turned out to be a relatively short presidency at Lane College.
Those Cotton Patch Blues.
In 1950, Professor White, who had always marched to the beat of a different drummer, was now being drawn to the promise of a new challenge: the offer to build a new college from the ground up. And for one who was earning a reputation as a builder, why, this opportunity was simply too intriguing to ignore, because we seriously doubt it was the $6,000 a year starting salary. So he accepted the offer and the challenge as those rich battery of syncopated, alluring cotton patch rhythms led James Herbert White onto yet another path of unparalleled achievement.
Moving on down to the Delta, baby.
where we'll build ourselves a little school. I say now, we're moving on down to the Delta, baby, where we'll build ourselves a little school. Now my family and friends think I'm a hero. Folks I don't know just think I'm a fool. But we're going on anyway, 'cause I've got big plans. I'm standing knee deep in water, baby. Lord knows I didn't bargain for this. We're standing knee deep in water, baby. Lord knows we didn't bargain for this. There won't be no part of Tennessee I won't miss. So play that Cotton Patch Blues for me, Mr. Sax Man. Then came the decade of the 1960s, and they captured a full range of emotional experiences for young MVC. Later in 1964, renamed Mississippi Valley State College, as well as for its first president. It was a time of tremendous growth, opportunity, and achievement, and most folks around here were so glad to be at Valley State. After completing military school at St. Emma's Academy near Richmond, Virginia, our uncle, Rudolph White, joined the Air Force and later made his home in Southern California with his wife Annette and his two children, Leslie and James Herbert II. Now, for over 30 years, he worked in the Los Angeles area for the American Standard Construction Company. Uncle Rudy, who died May 23, 2006 at age 70, was survived by his two children and his second wife, Jeanette. Now, our mother, in the meantime, had always a little disappointed that she had to leave Lane College and come to MVC in her senior year. Besides, she was just about to pledge Delta Sigma Theta. In 1968, however, she completed her senior studies here at the Valley, earning her bachelor's degree and receiving a diploma from a proud father. Oh, and she also became a charter member of the Greenwood Itta alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. President White was awarded the honorary Doctor of Laws degree from South Carolina's Allen University in 1967, and the honorary Doctor of Humanities degree from Mississippi's Rust College in 1968. On December 4th, 1968, MVSC achieved full accreditation by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. MVSC also became a member of the Southwestern Athletic Association in 1968. President White was listed in Who's Who in America, was a 33rd degree Mason, a Shriner, a 55-year member of Omega Psi fraternity, and an active member and supporter of Samuel Chapel United Methodist Church. His white paper, What Think Ye of America, was printed in the Congressional Record of the 83rd Congress of the United States. The 1960s were also a time of tragedy.
Lord, we don't have much, never have had much, but I just pray that my son Herbert will be able to get an education and use that education for your glory. Amen.
Edna, what in the world you educating that boy for?
Against the backdrop of the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy, coupled with student shootings at Kent State and Jackson State universities, the 1960s ended amid campus unrest and demands for change. Mississippi Valley State College, to a lesser extent, was no exception. Ironically, President White was a leader in many ways in education, and as a result, often a catalyst himself for change. His, however, was never a confrontational or combative style. An editorial in the Greenwood Commonwealth best described him upon his death as a gentleman and a gentleman. For 21 years, he focused like a laser, marshaling every resource available to help make MVSC the best college it could possibly be. He did, and it was. While dealing with criticisms were a natural part of his job, some of them appeared to take a toll on him personally, especially given his significant accomplishments. He felt that reasonable people could and should come together, talk and work out their differences in the absence of threats or personal attacks. Perhaps he saw some of these challenges as a frontal attack on his work in education, to which he steadfastly dedicated his entire life. Perhaps the times were just changing. Whatever the case, in his customary eloquent yet firm manner, he spoke to faculty, staff, and students in this, one of his final convocation addresses, with a message that seems just as relevant today as it was then. Here he is, in his own words.
You must guide the ship of MVSC through the rough waters of criticism. You must have to guide it through the rough waters of ours, vandalism, big heart. As I close, we stand in unsettled waters of the future. With our helmets, success in our hands, and each of us and all of us give a critical introspection of ourselves. Webster in his collegiate dictionary says, introspection means to look inside, to examine one's own mind or its conduct. Reflectivity or to engage in an examination of one's thoughts, its process and sensory experience in the definition. It is therefore, my friends, necessary we as staff, faculty, students, all who make up our college family, give a careful look at ourselves as we march out into the unsettled waters of 1916. Charles A. Cooley, in his looking glass concept, holds that we should hang the mirror of ourselves on the inside, or hang the mirror on the inside. Look on the outside and have a good look at our own self. We should look at our past, our present, and our future. We should look at our law, our devotion to our country, to our job, to our alma mater, and to our fellow man, to our God. Where do we go from here? Faculty, students, staff. The helm is in your hands now. You have the ship. You guide it wherever you wish. And I like to march. The waters are falling.
In 1971, President White retired from the university he helped to build, love, and cherish. His work was done, his era completed. He received praises from all across this country, including those from college presidents, judges, congressmen, members of the Mississippi State Legislature, members of the Board of Trustees of Higher Learning, community leaders, and others. On Sunday, April 1st, 1973, this new campus library was completed and dedicated in his honor. The guest speaker for the occasion was Dr. Jesse C. Smith, University Librarian at Fisk University. Then, just 14 days before his death, Mississippi Governor William Waller signed legislation changing the name Mississippi Valley State College to Mississippi Valley State University. The consummate builder, President White retired to this subdivision just off the Mississippi Valley State University campus. Years before, he bought and subdivided the land with the idea of developing a community where faculty and staff could buy a home and one day retire near the university. Finally, in response to one of his last requests, he was granted permission to be buried upon his death here on the very campus, the very cotton patch that he founded in 1950. Later in 1993, his wife Augusta was also buried by his side. When the long lens of history reflects on the life of James Herbert White, it will reach a number of conclusions. Three things, however, are certain. He enjoyed the steadfast love and sustaining support of his family and friends. He remained firm in his faith in God, and he was a tireless advocate for education, all three of which form the cornerstone of what Mississippi Valley State University is today. From the moment he arrived at Hardeman County Training School, from the day he first became college president at Lane, to the moment he pledged his unwavering support to the people of Mississippi to build a fine college, James Herbert White was a builder, and he remained a builder of this fine institution, a builder to the very end. And so it was that before any buildings, streets, or planted trees, before undergraduate or advanced degrees, before students, faculty, and staff brought Valley to amazing new heights, there was a man named James Herbert White. Before students came to Valley to fulfill their own family dreams, before we had 1 million friends, or so it seemed, before young musicians and sports teams showcased their Delta level might, there was a man named James Herbert White. Before we had an alma mater to proudly sing, before we embraced the blues of the legendary B.B. King, before Willie's Satellite Totten's tight spiral graced the hands of the one and only Jerry Rice, there was a man named James Herbert White.
Give us a young lady, we try to give you back a young woman. Give us a young man, we try to give you back a gentleman. Thank you.
For more information, please log on to www.mvsu.edu and become a part of the Mississippi Valley State University Renaissance.